I'm here today to talk about the role of sketching or the importance of sketching, architectural sketching, for all those who wish to become interior architects, interior designers, or architects. Hi, my name is Snehanshu Mukherjee. I'm a professional architect and I'm the course leader for the Department of Interior Architecture and Design. Why do we need to draw what we see in the spaces that we are sitting in or standing in? Now, when you walk into a space, you take it in, you notice it, but only when you stand and you take your time to draw it, do you really notice every little thing about that space. Or it could be a tree, it could be a landscape, it could be anything. It's only then that you observe with complete concentration. And what you draw finally may not be exactly what you see, because it won't be the same as taking a photograph, for example. And this is where I want to talk about the difference between taking a photograph, which has become so easy today with phones carrying cameras, and actually standing and sketching. Because when you're taking the photograph, you are seeing the place for a split second. And even if you go back home or to your classroom and you want to look at that photograph again, you don't really observe anything in any great detail. It's an overall impression that it makes upon you. So I myself like to go, when I have time, to stand at any particular spot and sketch something that I want to understand or observe in greater detail. So I carry a small sketchbook because that's easy to carry, and I carry my various instruments. Like, you can very easily sketch with a basic pencil, or you can sketch with a fountain pen. You can sketch with a specialized sketching pen, and I'll show you a little later why this is specialized. This is like a fountain pen, but the tip of it is bent. That means you can draw thin lines as well as thick lines. Or you carry what is known as the holder pencils, where you can change the lead according to the grade you require, whether it is 2B, 6B, 8B. So these are the basic implements that you always carry with you. And it's very interesting because what you sketch with can change the way the thing looks. For instance, I drew this tree from a window at Lodi Gardens, and I also did the same tree in pencil. And the way the tree appears will always be quite different depending on the medium you use. So that means you need to also think about what you want to sketch with. Obviously, when you sketch with ink, you cannot make corrections. But then, even if you're sketching with a pencil, you should not be using the eraser. You need to draw in a manner where you have a method by which you incorporate the mistakes into the drawing itself. So you of course have to know the rules about a two-point perspective, which is what you can learn very easily on any YouTube video tutorial. But these are the basics that you must have with you before you venture out into the field. And then you just spend maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You also have a system of sketching using just about 3 minutes. They're called 3-minute sketches, where you learn to notice the most important aspects of the place that you are seeing. But I personally prefer to stand for a while and keep adding the amount of detail that goes into it. So why is it important for interior architects or architecture students to be able to sketch well? As I said, one is that you are observing, and when you're observing, you're understanding certain things about why the building is built that way, why the space is like this, what is the scale, proportions, textures, colors, all of that. And then that will subconsciously influence you in your own work. And to design, you have to imagine the space, even if it doesn't exist, and then you need to draw it. And the easiest and the best way to draw it first is through sketching. And then, of course, you can add watercolor and stuff like that. And I also want to talk about this idea that a lot of people these days like to draw on the digital medium. So if you have a tablet which has a stylus with which you draw, I have discovered that when I have to draw using any of these softwares, I find that it is your initial training as somebody who knows how to do a three-dimensional sketch, which comes into play when you choose the pens, you choose the colors, the textures, all of that. If you haven't gone through the analog method, if you come directly onto the digital mode, because the digital mode is nothing but a mimicking of the analog, very often the results are not satisfactory. So years of practice and developing an interest in this way of working or way of sketching that helps you even in the newer formats like in the digital sphere.